All right, welcome back to another episode from Tailors With Love. Got a whole crew in the room with me, starting off with co-author of From Tailors With Love, An Evolution of Menswear Through the Bond Films, and editor of Bond Suits, Matt Spaiser. How are you doing today, Matt?
Hey, P, I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent, fantastic. And we have Zed from Tie Another Day. How are you doing today, Zed?
Yeah, doing very well. I hope you're doing well as well.
We are. Well, I am, certainly. And lastly, but not leastly, Daniel Gaster from Daniel Gaster. How's Daniel Gaster doing?
Daniel Gaster's doing well. Thank you, Pete.
Awesome.
How are you?
Yeah, I am going great guns. Thanks, guys. Well, tell you what, Matt, let's start with you. When did you see the film, and perhaps just your broad impressions?
So I saw the film on the premiere day. I didn't see it at the premiere. I saw it in New York at a press screening. That was so they started up the film just at the same time that the premiere was going. So it was started probably about 3:15 in the afternoon in New York. It was really great. They showed it in IMAX.
Oh,
and,
wow.
You know, I gotta say, it's just this is really one for IMAX. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's just, and especially the scenes that are shot in IMAX, you can tell because it's different. The aspect ratio is different, and it's just like I feel like surrounded by Bond, surrounded by the locations, and just I think that they shot this film they use the locations to the fullest extent. I mean that was kind of like one of my complaints about a lot of the Craig films is that you don't feel the locations well enough, but here you do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good shout. Yeah, you've just persuaded me because I had 6 tickets for the IMAX the other day and I had to cancel them for another event. But I'm doing the IMAX at some time. Great. Danny Boy's just gone off camera. Zed, over to you. I should say before we get into that, we're going to talk about the clothes of the films. We're going to drill down on some of the clothes, what we thought of them, and how they related to the context of the plot, without giving away spoilers. But Zed, first of all, when did you see it and your overall impressions of the film?
Yes, so I saw it on Thursday, 8 a.m. at the BFI IMAX in Waterloo. Coincidentally, I didn't realize until the end I was with the James Bond radio family, so I met Chris and quite a few of the listeners as well as Dolby. So, yeah, I totally agree with Matt. IMAX, the experience is phenomenal, and yeah, I couldn't add anything more to what Matt's description. It really made the visuals were better, the sound was amazing, and yeah, just a fantastic experience.
Cool. What was it like watching a film like that at 8 in the morning? I mean, what time are you getting? I mean, are you still drinking coffee? Are you kind of half asleep?
No, I'm usually an early riser, but because of the runtime, I deliberately didn't drink as much. So it was, so I had a bit of a late 11Z's pick out, you could say, just to digest everything.
All right, good show. Yeah. All right. Well, Danny, I know don't know where you saw it, but have you had a chance to see it again since? And what did you make of it when you did see it?
I haven't seen it again since the premiere, but I think we had an amazing time as far as I'm concerned in terms of the whole experience of the premiere. That was something that I've never experienced before, and it was something that I think I'll treasure, and I have to thank you, and I have to thank James Davis, who's you expect me to talk on Instagram, who offered his ticket up to me. So very appreciative of that. But I think I enjoyed the film. For the most part, there's definitely some things that I think could have been done better. But I think overall the story and everything at the beginning of the film was excellent, and the pace of it was good as well. And yeah, I think that I do want to go and see it again. I want to see it like Zed was saying in an IMAX, crisper sort of, image and sound. I found it very difficult to hear properly.
Yeah.
At the Royal Albert Hall, I couldn't really hear any of the soundtrack at all, to be honest. I found that very difficult to hear.
Oh, soundtrack I was okay with. The audio, like the dialogue was kind of all over the place, especially when it came to explaining crucial elements of the plot. But it's funny because the Royal Albert Hall is kind of known for that. And when I was queuing up for the chocolate and crisps, I got talking to a woman who was actually, her husband was in charge of the sound editing for the Royal Albert Hall, just coincidentally. And she goes, "Oh, he's bricking it tonight. He's absolutely bricking it. He knows how bad it is." Bless him.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I think seeing a, Bond film in a cinema, especially the best cinema you can, and I think I went to the best cinema in New York City for this, and I think it makes a big difference. Just, I mean, both the picture and the sound. I could hear everything perfectly. When I'm at home, I often put on, I put on subtitles so I can, just read along with the dialogue, and I'll probably do that once I get the No Time to Die Blu-ray. I think that'll that way I really won't miss anything.
Yeah.
But I think I think it does make a difference just to see it in the best cinema that's possible.
Definitely. Let's get into some of the clothes, shall we, guys? I think it's a shame that we didn't see anything new. I know David Zawitsky kind of tapped on that with his first vlog that he did on a second viewing, that there wasn't any outfits that we hadn't already seen. I heard rumors that there'd be like a Tom Ford leather jacket at some point during this film. These were all kind of scurrilous rumors that were making their way around the webs, but it would have been nice, I think, to see something where everyone who's like us, a bit of a sartorialist, just went, "Whoa, what is that? Where is it? Let's go find it." So Zed, over to you. What did you think of maybe the suits? We can start with the suits. I think that's your wheelhouse. Did you find those suits enjoyable to watch on the big screen?
Well, I think certainly the suits that we've seen inside the promotions, like the grey Glenn played, grey Prince Wales check, I'm surprised we get more airtime. Certainly the navy blue, which I think is a really lovely fabric. I've seen it in real life. I think that's got a lot more screen time. That tie that goes with that suit is a mystery. I mean, but I think the way it was used, his suitings, I mean, we were limited to only those two suits. Not discounting Matera. I think certainly the suits in Matera, the Masiba Alba suit sits very well with the environment. I felt the suit felt more comfortable with the environment and it matched the palette of it. But certainly the other two Tom Ford suits, I think you could say they were London suits. They wouldn't look amiss, in downtown, in the city. And I think they were very, I wouldn't say conservative. I mean, I think the palette and pattern, I'm a fan of the Prince of Wales check, so I really think they really came across pretty well for what they were. They were functional for his role when coming back to MI6.
How do we know it's not a Tom Ford tie?
Well, I don't know if it's I don't think it's not I don't know if it's not a Tom Ford tie. I don't think it's not one of the ones, the collection that they've put out that they said were provided to the production crew. So it could be a Tom Ford tie. Yeah. Right. So it could be a Tom Ford tie, but maybe it's not it wasn't included inside the collection that was being provided. So again, it's probably like at the end of Spectre, the tie there. I saw something very similar in Tom Ford, but it was later found out to be Thomas Pink. So there's still some mystery around that one.
Yeah. But I'm guessing that it's not a Tom Ford tie. I think the way it knots doesn't look like a Tom Ford tie. It doesn't look quite as luxurious. A Tom Ford tie generally knots a bit thicker than that, and it kind of has a much smaller knot than I expect from a Tom Ford tie.
Is this one of the only items that hasn't been revealed? Is this tie? So this is now the holy grail
It's
for the
one
no
of the very, very few. I don't know. Are there others that we haven't identified yet?
The baseball cap.
Right.
I managed to get one from Barber. I was thinking because of the color coding, maybe it's from Barber, because it is the engineered garments jacket. It's got a kind of a very unique navy look to it. It's not the washed version, but something. So I thought maybe it would fitted very well with that. But there's that, and I think the jeans he wears when he picks up the car from the garage. I think from the scenes, you can see there's a label at the back, but
there's a brown leather patch on the belt loop, but you can't, unless I hit pause on the cinema screen, and I can't figure that one out. Daniel, what were your favorite style moments that we've seen in the trailer already, I guess? So the favorite style moments for you that really stood out.
I think for me, I actually really liked the Norway outfit, the Massimo Alba Duster jacket. I think there's a lot of people, when we're seeing the trailers of it, not sure, but I think once you see the film, it does actually it does belong to that environment that it's in the forest environment. I think it works well with the Connolly shirt as well, that we only had like a few images of it. I can't remember if it was if that shirt was in the trailer, but I think that outfit really lends well to the environment it's in, leading to where it goes. So that's probably one of my favorite outfits, other than the Tom Ford suits, which I love anyway.
Yeah, I did like the scene that's in the trailer where you see the kind of jacket flap in the wind almost as the Aston Martin creeps up behind him, and you can almost see him walking around like Clint Eastwood in Pale Rider. It kind of gives it that great fluidity, doesn't it? Matt, you had a good point on your blog about how that jacket could have also maybe been like a Barber jacket, the one that we see in Skyfall.
Yeah.
That could have been perhaps that could have replaced it as an alternative.
Yeah, I know. I definitely think that the Barber and Skyfall would have been perfect for those scenes as well. I mean, it's nice that we see a different item here, but I think that if we do see, I mean, a number of familiar looks in No Time to Die from the previous Bond films. That was something that Sudarat said that she had gone back and looked at previous films to make and just kind of give some continuity, which I think is a fantastic choice. But I really do actually like the Green Duster coat. I think it really makes these scenes in the forest more dramatic. Because when you have a long coat, it just makes Bond look more dramatic. It does flap around a bit. It doesn't seem to get in the way, but I do think that maybe something shorter like the Barber in Skyfall would have not been as cumbersome. Might have helped. Bond would have looked a lot different wearing it in those scenes. But I do think that whatever he wore, I think green was the best choice for that, because it's kind of camouflage. So I do think that those are great. It was just a great choice.
Yeah, I spoke about this offline with you, Matt, about how the jacket, if it was the Barber jacket, it would have been a really nice touch that he would have held on to some clothing. And perhaps like how he holds on to the DB5, that's the only thing really that he is emotionally attached to. And I think Barbara Broccoli even spoke about this in the 007 podcasts, that he uses clothes as a conduit to get into places. He doesn't have clothes that he treats like we treat clothes, kind of carefully and with, love and affection. He just treats it like you'd probably ball up his tuxedo after it's done and just throw it on the floor. But it would have been
That's
nice.
True.
I think like how Rocky goes back to his old coat, where he gets an old hat from his box in the attic, and then you see like several bits of clothing that he could have worn through several bits of film. But I think that might have just been for us.
But even if Bond doesn't have that sentimental attachment to his clothes, or if he doesn't baby his clothes, I still think that he would hold on to them, and just like a lot of people would. I have family members that have held on to clothes for decades. They don't care about them. They don't give a shit about the clothes, but they have them, because lots of people just hold on to their old clothes. They wear them until they can no longer wear them, whether they gain too much weight or the clothes wear out. And like that's like something that I think of when I see the gray T-shirt in the Jamaica scenes. Is it supposed to be, it's World War Brown, but is it supposed to be like the gray Sunspell T-shirt from Casino Royale? He's clearly had this shirt for many, many years. So it's something that it's a worn out shirt. So maybe Bond has just held on to the shirt. He just uses it for just any time that he just doesn't actually have to look presentable.
We've got a sustainable Bond on our hands.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also realistic. It is realistic, whether or not you care about your clothes. Most people hold on to their clothes. It's actually people who care so much about their clothes who are the ones who generally throw them out, but before the clothes wear out. They want to wear the latest fashions. But maybe Bond would just keep wearing the same thing because he has it. He can wear it. Why not? It's just practical.
Zed, what do you think about this idea that Bond being a a man with a naval background, a military background, wouldn't look slovenly. He would be someone that would always want to look immaculate because that's in his training? Or do you kind of lend to the fact now he's retired, he can just wear what the heck he wants?
It's an interesting question because I do work with a few vets and veterans, and they do. I worked with somebody who was like, he kept a very high level of standard. You know, it was always like, you know, the shoes always, you know, spit, you know, mirror shine. There was always a kind of a sense of, you're in a routine, you have a certain look that you feel accustomed, comfortable to. But I do take your point. You know, he's probably deliberately trying to be off the radar, so he's trying not to get himself too noticed. So he's trying to blend in. So I do understand why there may be a reversion to something which a bit more less formal, less smart, in order to be able to be sort of like the grey man, the person who's not being looked at.
Yeah, but although, but say like, what if like would a naval person who, you know, who is always trying to, you know, look their best? What if they have to paint the house or wash the car? What are they going to wear? What are they going to wear? Are they going to look their best for that?
No,
Or are they going to wear one of these old t-shirts?
Yeah, oh yes, t-shirts, jeans, you know, old trainers, you know, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. There's like that home leisure, and then there's that, you know, civilian element, and then uniforms. There's that kind of there's tierings. Where do you sit, and what do you take, and what do you and where do you what do you wear, and where do you wear them as well? So yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
Dan, what do you think Bond wears when he washes his car? I'm only joking. So Dan, you pretty much got nearly every outfit from this film, right? Is there anything that you haven't got from this film yet?
I don't have the evening suit.
Right. Okay. Do you got the RGT jacket?
No, I don't have the RGT jacket, and I don't have the Connolly jacket either.
Right.
I wasn't. For me personally, I wasn't drawn to those items. The Connolly jacket, I just didn't appeal to me, and the RGT jacket, it for me kind of still has a similar feel to the Matchless jacket from Spectre, which I do own, and I don't, you know, it's similar style, similar colouring, not entirely the same, but I just feel I've got the Matchless jacket. I don't necessarily need to have the RGT jacket as well. So I do try to get things, and also I suppose like with the boots that he wears in Matera, they're very similar to my churches from Quantum of Solace. So I don't see needing another brown pair of desert boots.
Right, interesting. Yeah, it would have been nice, again, not going into spoilers, but perhaps if they protracted some of the scenes with him wearing the RGT jacket, I would have liked to have seen that element, because that's about as good as you get, really, with what you see in the trailer.
Yeah, that's it's like the RGD jacket might be the most popular item from the film,
especially the most accessible, right?
It is, because it's, I mean, the price is in the US it's under $300, and it's made in the US. It's made to, you know, very high quality, you know, standards. So it's just something that, you know, that it's just, I think it works for Bond. It works for the average person. I think it's a great piece. But I was just very surprised that we don't see very much of it in the film.
Yeah, no,
it's really the only outfit that gets like almost no screen time in the film, because a lot of the outfits we see for quite a while.
Yeah,
there aren't a whole lot of costume changes. You know, they're very easy to keep track of. Like unlike say like in Casino Royale, I can't keep track of it every time there's a new costume on screen.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. You can, we were just exposed to so much, weren't we, in the trailers, and it's kind of another discussion for another day, I guess. But if you didn't see the trailers for this film, you would have just perhaps enjoyed seeing everything so much more. There would have been so much more jeopardy for you. So like you would have, how would have Bond ever have got out of that when they're shooting the Aston Martin up? How would he have ever gotten out? No one could have really thought of that. That was just such a great escape. That's a kind of jumping over the crocodiles escape, but it's all out and about in the trailers. In fact, Dan, we were saying on the red carpet, right, when people were walking in, for people that had not seen the trailers, it was all on the screens as you're walking up the red carpet. All of the
you
trailers.
couldn't
Yeah,
miss it, could you?
I was like,
Like, I don't want to see any of the trailers, and you walk in and there's literally like different
everywhere.
parts of it on different screens at any different point in time.
oh, it was so cruel. It was so cruel.
Yeah, it's like the scene in Spectre where where Bond's in Blofeld's lair, and they don't watch the screen. Like don't look at this. Don't look at the screen.
Yeah.
Don't look.
Turn it off. Turn it off. I don't know if we've got too much to add at this stage, but perhaps, Matt, I wanted to talk about the fit of the suits compared to the other films. And I think Zed and Daniel, I'll get your take on this before we wrap things up. How did you feel like these suits compared with fit and maybe the silhouette versus any of the other suits that we've seen Daniel Boy wear so far?
It's very similar to what we saw in Skyfall and Spectre, but they don't feel quite as tight anymore. They look a little more relaxed. I mean, it's still a very close fit, but they don't seem quite, like they're strangling him. But the thing that I really noticed was that the collar of the jackets does not sit flush against the neck. It hands away, and it's a very common issue with like ready to wear. It's not a difficult alteration, and it's something that we see a lot of in this film, and I did find it I found it very, very distracting, especially with the blue suit.
Yeah.
Whenever like, there's a close up, you see that collar. It's just the close ups, especially in the big IMAX screen, it really stands out.
Zed, did you have any thoughts when the suits were on screen? Were you enjoying those moments, or were you distracted at all?
Yeah, no, I like the suits on screen. I think I said the color choices were very good. I felt that the fabric itself, I mean, again, like on IMAX, you could see like you could see the Prince of Wales check on that blue suit. And I mean, me and Dan, Dan can say this as well. I mean, we've had a look at that fabric. It can be dark grey on one side in one light, and then like navy blue on another. It's a very unique fabric. So the way it came out on screen made it look blue, but then there could have been some filters or something like that to kind of enhance that as well. But I felt there were function. I mean, there is suit of armor. He looked comfortable. I think he definitely looked comfortable wearing those suits at those times. And yeah, I agree. The fit looked a little bit more. It was a lot more better than Skyfall, definitely. So, but I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where it'll be like as flattering as it was in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, Daniel.
If I think about just the Tom Ford suits from the past 4 films, I would still say that the Quantum fit is probably the best, but this is probably next in line, in my opinion.
I agree.
In terms of the way that they look and feel, look and how the way he moves with it. I agree with what I've read from Matt in the past about the Skyfall suits being absolutely sort of shrink wrapped on him, and they weren't that much better in Spectre. But again, they don't look that shrink wrapped, but they have they are the same style as the suits in the last 2 films.
Yeah. Well,
there was one thing I noticed with the suits that I kind of had a problem with was that there are 2 Tom Ford suits, and like they're like it's like the same part of the film, and they are both check suits. Wouldn't it have been nice to have something that like one check and one that was maybe something else, like a stripe or just a solid or a semi-solid? What do you guys think?
Well, there was a 3rd suit that they brought out, wasn't there?
It was
which was pinpoint. A grain melange. Yes, yeah, pinpoint suit. And again, we that with the exception of the Matera suit, which wasn't a Tom Ford suit, these are the only 3 suits that we see. I can understand. I think I agree with you. It would be nice to have either a stripe or just a plain suit to go with it. But I do really like these 2 suits. It's just a shame that they're so similar in the same film.
Yeah.
I agree. I think maybe like a mini herringbone would have been very nice as well. That kind of, because I like that kind of weave in the fabric. It kind of gives that semi pinstripe or that kind of stripe. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I do like the mini herringbone in Skyfall.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, gents, I think short and sweet today compared to protracted conversations I'm hoping we'll have at a later date once more people have had the chance to see this film. But for now, maybe we'll call it a day there. Zed from Tie Another Day on Instagram. Quickly, Zed, where do you rate this right now amongst the Danny boys?
Amongst Casino Royale still going to be top, so this is probably second.
Wow. Okay. Daniel?
For me, this is third.
Behind
Casino and Skyfall.
Okay. Matt, initially?
You know, I've been moving it all around my list. I've been trying to figure out. It definitely sits, you know, for me, it sits towards the bottom. I mean, of the whole series, along with all the other Daniel Craig films. But you know,
but you're still going to buy it on Blu-ray, so it must.
Of course, I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's you know, it's still a Bond film. But you know, I'll probably figure out, you know, in the next few months or maybe next few years where exactly it'll sit for me.
All right. Good to know. All right, gents. Thanks for taking time out today. That's it for now. And catch you on the next one.